Here's a little update on the truck. We got the coilovers put in. Still waiting on the link bar set up to come in from Amazon. I just got a little cheap one from Max Speeding Rods, I think, for like $2.50, $2.30, $2.40, I don't know, something like that. So we'll put them on next. I was gonna do them JKs, but after getting them coilovers in there and fighting for space for all the link bars in such a tight spot, I went to go for the ones from Speedway. They look to be a bit smaller, so I think we're gonna do that. But anyways, I got some work to do on this bed. Somewhere in my frame mounts, I'm a little off. You can tell from the gap that the rear needs to drop down. The front uses stock mount, so I had no problem there, but the rear definitely needs to come down. And when I cut the inside of this, I ended up cutting it a little bigger than I want. I still got the piece, but I might splice something in on the left side here, make it a little more symmetrical, but we'll see. It's gonna get a cover anyway, so I guess it's not terribly important. But so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this bed off, notch a couple of the frame mounts in the back. I think it's all the way in the rear, and there's one just under here somewhere. But I'm gonna notch the frame just so she sits drop down where it's supposed to, and I'm gonna do that now. Well, here's the frame without the bed on it. Sometimes, fellas, you just don't have to have all the right tools. You just need a cherry picker and a ratchet strap, and you can do all kinds of stuff with it. I've pulled cabs off of chassis with 2 different cherry pickers once, just because I didn't have the right stuff to hoist it off there. Anyway, so you know, a guy doesn't have to have all the right stuff to get this stuff done. It's amazing what you can do with just the right amount of stuff, but I'm sure having a welder and a little bit of fabrication experience helps. So here's the rear setup, as you can see it. Like I said, just some cheap eBay coilovers. I don't have the link bars yet, so I took a couple pieces of small angle and just tacked them in there to keep the, you can see one right there, a little piece of angle. And there's another one over here between the tire and the coil spring. But just some angle tacked to the frame just to keep the axle from flopping all over hell and maybe damaging these little cheap coilovers I got. But that's kind of the setup. We'll figure out what we got to do for preloading them. They're for 03 to 06 Acura RSX, but I got them for like $40 on Marketplace, so I don't expect much, but it's a starting point, and if we want to upgrade, we can always do that. Or, you know, I mean, very well likely we might end up doing bags on this thing someday, but for now we'll throw some junk shit on there, make some brackets, and just see how we like stuff. But we're gonna get started with this bed. I think it's the way to go. We need to flip this over, go ahead, cut the little bracket or the mount notches. Like I said, the frame just sits a little bit tall back here. I thought I did good numbers, and I'm pretty good with that stuff, but it's just not sitting right. So instead of chopping that rear end of the frame and dropping it, I'm just gonna do little pocket notches on the bottom of this. I mean, she's not a show truck. Old girl's got rust holes and shit like that all in her, so it's just something I'm messing with. But either way, yeah, there's the old frame underneath it, poking out a little bit. Probably a bit sad, you know. Anyway, yeah, we'll get started on this shit.